Hey guys, today I'm going to talk about hidden dangers that you come across in jails. The ones I came across in Pentridge and also in Port Phillip, they're very similar. Um, First of all, when I first went to jail, um, there was no issues with shoes. Everybody wore the same. Everybody wore Dunlop Follies. No prison issue, and it sort of leaked in when the remand prisoners were mixing before they had the map. The remand prisoners would be in Pentridge in the yard, and they wore their own clothes because they weren't sentenced. And so they'd be wearing good shoes, and occasionally one of the sentenced prisoners would get a hold of a good pair of shoes and just start wearing them around the units in the wing, and the screws didn't say anything. So, shoes started to creep in, people started wearing their own shoes, and, the prison system didn't really do much about it. So, once everybody was wearing good shoes, then somebody decided to start stamping people for their shoes. And that, you've never been to jail before, you come walking in, you think you're wearing good shoes. That is a hidden danger. People will take those shoes whether you like it or not. And unless you're prepared to go all, uh, all out to keep them shoes, and when I say all out, I mean all out to keep them shoes, you're losing your shoes. So, that's a hidden danger, shoes. Another hidden danger is having too much canteen. If you've got too much, coffee, sugar, biscuits, noodles, whatever, you've got a lot of it, and people see that, or somebody, word gets around. Even if you don't have it and people think you do, you'll get a visit from someone at some stage, I would imagine. What else? Oh yeah, hidden. If you're on medication, that if you're on medication when you go to jail, get off it or don't tell any. I don't know, but yeah, if you don't want to, if you want to hang on to it, keep it very, very quiet what you're on. Um, yeah, I've seen people go through a lot of trauma and a lot of drama over just their medication that they've been on for years. So yeah, medication is a hidden danger. Um, so clothing and shoes, uh, medication. What else? What else is a hidden danger? Oh yeah, not showing respect to the right people. My very first time in jail, within 2 days, I landed in Pentridge, and within a day or so, I sort of got my bearings a bit, and I was in 2 yard. And a friend of mine came up to the gate and stood at the bars and put his head up and said, "Hey, come here." And I looked, and it was a friend of mine from down, and I went over to talk to him, and he was a yard billet, so he was in the billet's yard. It's called the DDP, but anyway, he was in that yard, but he could come. He had a bit of a free, to do his job. Anyway, he called me over and said, "What are you doing here?" And he sort of said, "I'll come in tomorrow and I'll have a chat with you." And he came into the yard the next day and showed me the ropes a bit. Anyway, after the next day, he came and he introduced me to his friend who he worked with. And when they were leaving, I said, "Oh, I'd see you later, Brian, and see you later, champ." And the guy said, "No, not champ." I said, "See you later, boss." I called him. See you, boss. He was a bigger guy. I was only young too, right? So this was an older guy, bigger guy. And he said, "Hey, you didn't just call me boss, did you?" And I said, "What?" And he said, "Mate, you're lucky it's me." He said, "Don't fucking call anyone boss. That's what we call the screws around here." So, which, close call. Hidden danger. See, I didn't know. Just lucky. Fucking very, very lucky. So yeah, hidden dangers. What else? What else is a hidden danger? Yeah, I don't know, mate. Look, just you know, looking at the wrong bloke, having the wrong head can get you into having a bad head. Uh, it doesn't really take much, to be honest. The truth of it is, if someone's going to get you, they're going to come at you, mate. And that happens more often than not for no reason at all. My experience. I might have gone over 4 or 5 things, reasons for people getting got. But basically, if someone gets it in their head that they're getting, which generally happens more often than not, shoes, noodles, no matter what it is that you've got, someone wants, they will just make it up, if they just want to bash you. A lot of people just, feel more powerful or more safe if they're on the front foot and being aggressive and all that. So, and quite often I see it flip. I've seen it flip the other way, where the victim has become the victor, and just explode in a fury and stomp shit out of someone who's trying to take their lunch or whatever. But yeah, so hidden dangers are everywhere. But even if you know all the hidden dangers, still need to be on your guard 24/7 when in the system. I'm going to leave this there, guys. Just a quick one. I haven't been on here for a while, so thought I'd give you something to read, look at, something to listen to. I don't know if you're interested anyway. All right, guys. See you.